All right, well, welcome back to my garage again. Miss Bella's trying to kill a lizard. She's my security over here. I am the rough talent in charge of making this F-150 try to look decent again. You can see we got some pretty bad dings in her along the side, and it's just kind of continues down. You can see in the fender there a little bit. Same thing on the other side there, and we also got a little bit of a, you can say a moon, or that would be a floor roof instead of a sunroof down there, but we got a bit of a hole we're going to have to patch in the floor there too. And on top of that, there's also just a lot of rust everywhere. This needs to be cut out, repaired, little bits of metal welded into it. So that's kind of what we're going to do today and get the bodywork side of this truck done and hopefully be able to move on to paint here soon. I'd like by the end of the weekend to get this thing primed out, and then you guys will probably end up seeing the video Monday. This is Saturday today, but let's go ahead and get cracking at it and see how much we can get done. So I figured I'd go ahead and get the boring stuff out of the way at the front of the video here, but, all these dents I'm pulling out, studs and welding in, stuff like that, just kind of, making imperfections perfect as I can without having to do too much Bondo work and paint, but there's a lot of stuff you'll see me jumping around to in this video back and forth, and it's a lot to keep up with for one person. I'm trying to get this done in, 6 to 8 months for the customer, and normally it takes a shop that has a crew, 6 to 8 months, if not longer, to do a restoration like this. So stick with me, it's a lot, but we'll also get more into that later in the video as well. Especially if some other processes I should have done differently too. So all the spots that were big problems, we got sanded down. That way I can go ahead and start doing my Bondo work and everything. I did not get the paint sanded out of the valleys of them. That way I can just kind of, as I work, I'll sand that out with a little hand sanding and then Bondo over it and everything. But I got all the areas exposed other than this one. This one we're going to have to do a little bit of work on. I'm prying on the inside, and I'm not going to worry about that tonight. I'm going to do that when I have some more daylight in the shop. I don't have... I need to get two more, really, I'd like to get 2 lights on that side and 2 lights on this side to kind of give me some angle on the side of vehicles whenever I'm in here doing body work and stuff like this, painting. But for now, it is what it is, so maybe a future video idea. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and run the town. I'm going to get some dinner. I'm going to get some more sandpaper. We're going to go ahead and get some Bondo thrown in all these holes tonight. And hopefully, you can see there's some, other spots. They're everywhere. Only thing that we're not taking care of tonight is the big dent, the 2 rust spots here, and the rust spot in the floor. We're going to save that for tomorrow, like I said, when we get a little bit more daylight in the shop here. So my audio cut out in a few of these clips coming up here, so I'm just going to talk over it. And to be honest, this is the boring part anyways. I'm just mixing Bondo up to the recommendations on the gallon jug there and kind of slapping it on the vehicle. A little bit too high in some places, creating some problems for myself, but yeah, I got a little skit later on here in the video that explains how I handled that pretty well. Alright, me and Bella are back, and it is exactly 3:01 in the morning. Anyways, we stuck it out, and I got the entire truck Bondoed outside of the one door panel we have to pull out still, but let me show you guys around. So I got all the rust spots on the top sprayed down with Ospo and around the vehicle. That way tomorrow it'll be converted and we can go ahead and sand them down and get them, painted and stuff like that. All of the major dents, bumps, and everything I have Bondoed at this point. That tape is just there to catch any liquid so it doesn't drip all the way down. But anyways, you can see we got every little spot on this side done. The tailgate I'm going to do once I pull the bed off as well, just to get in between the bed and the cab right there. But anyways, I'm pretty happy with the progress so far. Anyways, it is 3 in the morning. I am tired. Bella is very tired as well, and she is complaining, wanting to go inside, and brain is done for the night. I will see you guys tomorrow. All right, it's the next morning, afternoon to be honest with you. We're back though. Anyways, I did take a little bit of time and I sanded this down this morning just to make sure the Bondo had hardened up and cured overnight. Everything did just the way it's supposed to. So we're gonna go ahead and sand this truck down, get everything nice and smooth, at least best of my ability. And then we're gonna go ahead, hop to the passenger side over there, try to fix the dent in the door. And we'll also come in here and cut this out down here and see about welding some new metal in there, or at least getting a new metal sheet cut and pre-placed for whenever I do have time to weld it. I really want to get primer on this truck this weekend. That way I can go ahead and work on sanding that over the weekend. Hopefully next weekend actually put some color on this. We'll see how far I get. It'll probably be another week or 2 out, because whenever you think it'll be, one day, it typically takes 4. So 1 week, it'll be about a month anyways. And I am going to wait to sand these spots on this door right here until I pop this out. And, well, yeah, let's just go ahead and take care of it now.
We interrupt your program for this brief message.
Do you find yourself mixing up way too much Bondo for the project at hand? And do you also find yourself smearing way too much Bondo on those holes and dents that you're trying to smooth off with that sander? Do you get frustrated and break your tools out of frustration? Well, no more. Take yourself a trip to Harbor Freight and get yourself one of these Baxter air sanders. This thing is amazing right here. Just don't forget to add any oil too. But you can see it's rigid, it's got these really stiff arms that hold in your sandpaper, and it does not come off, rip, or tear. Anyways, let's go ahead and give this thing a try on the vehicle. Oh yeah. We went from sitting here looking like a chump to sanding this thing down flat in minutes. The progress we made on these doors is incomparable to anything I could do by hand. I would definitely recommend picking one of these things up today at Harbor Freight. Not sponsored. Right, so I've spent some time over the past few days since you saw me in the last clip there, just kind of sanding down the truck, getting little rust spots, stuff like that, ready to prime. And on the main cab here, I found a few areas that are pretty bad. We're actually going to go ahead and pull the bed off and do something else with that today. But let me show you guys real quick. So you can see sunlight on the other side there, and really you shouldn't be able to see that. That's more of an accessory for the sunroof here, which we don't have either. But anyways though, we did go ahead and grind down all the edges on the window here. We're going to have to now grind and cut this out here because it's the entire way down just like Swiss cheese. So I kind of think the best way to go about this is going to be to just go ahead and pull the bed off. I already got all the body work done on the bed, so I think while we have it suspended from the forks on the tractor here, we'll go ahead and just finish sanding the front here, finish sanding the back in a few areas, and we'll just go ahead and prime this with a few coats of primer. That way we can set it outside, not worry about it. It'll be good underneath an awning I got over there. So anyways, let's go ahead and get this thing primed. That way I can get to town and get me some dinner before it gets too late. All right, let's go ahead and see if we can make some progress. All right, make sure we ain't got nothing super connected. We do still have two things connected. No, that's supposed to be there. There is some craziness. A brake line? Someone took an old brake line and twisted it up into the bottom of it. I don't know what they were thinking. I ain't got time to deal with it. We're just cutting it. Yeah, it's gonna go with the truck bed there, but tell you what, it ain't nothing that's got fluid in it for a long time. Damn. All right. Not loving that. But it's free. Okay. That's sketchy. You know what might make it a lot less sketchy? Ooh. Yeah. Big brain. Uh-oh. Sure, we can bend that back straight. All right, so I ran out of paint. I'm gonna get some more tomorrow. Everything is closed at this point. It's after, I think it's after 10 at this point. It's 9:45, 10 right in there. Anyways, we're gonna go ahead and get some food, but this is it for the night. I'm gonna go ahead and throw a tarp on her before I go to bed, and we'll be back tomorrow for another coat, and also to address some more in here. Oh, I'm not looking forward to dealing with that. So right here is where we went ahead and we got all the old rusted metal cut out of here. That way we can get the new stuff welded in and hopefully make this truck last another 15, 25 years for the customer. But anyways, I also cut out the floor panel on the driver's side while we were at it. Just go ahead and, got the grinder out, might as well make the progress. So one little tip I will say, make sure there's no fuel or brake lines below. There is one very, very close on this truck. But anyways, I went ahead and made up some new metal panels and fit this stuff in. I wish I would have detailed that a little bit more. It was kind of a cool process and I learned some stuff. It might have helped other people learn some things too. But anyways, I did grind all this down. That way whenever we go to prime it, it all looks nice and smooth and will actually look good on the outside of the vehicle. I did grind the inside as well. Just, professional work. I don't want it to look crappy if someone ever takes the panels off or anything like that. I want to do a good job. But anyways, we then primed it up after I got all that done. I don't think I mentioned that in the video. But anyways, let's go ahead and get to it now. Ta-da! I'm happy to see there's not a bunch of rust pouring all the way down the cab there. I did check the other side, and all the way down in there looks good too. Other side, same shape, very happy with the way that looks. Down here, you can see we definitely got a little bit of rust we still got to fight. We're probably going to have to wire wheel this and then OSFO it as well, just to get that rust away there before we have a nice surface to weld to. But anyways, let's go ahead and bend up some little metal pieces to fit in here nicely, weld it up, tack it all in, and I'll be back with you guys then. Well, I got this piece thrown in here. It is a little janky, but if you level it out, looks good. I just need to bend the top corner where my fingers are. So that's good to get tacked in place. I just got to get it all, prepared for the welds. Oh, a little tic-tac. All right, you can see we got this boogered on here. We definitely got to do a little bit of grinding with the flap wheel, but that's no big deal. We'll run the town and get one of those tomorrow. I don't have any more time tonight to work on this, and everywhere is closed anyway. So let me show you this one real quick before we sign off for the night. A little happier with how this turned out. You can see it took a little bit more time over here, but I don't know if I didn't have enough gas right here or what happened, but we had a little bit of oxidation. But anyways, so far, yeah, all right. Could be better, and I've seen worse. So yesterday, we got this strip cut out along the back down here. We still need to prep that up with the wire wheel and everything. But outside over here, I went ahead and got this steel sheet set out. We're gonna clean up this edge from when I horribly cut it last time, and then we're gonna rip it with the proper steel blade on the saw. And anyways, let's go ahead and get to it. All right, well, we just got done grinding and prepping our surface back here for welds, and I found more. Awesome, so we're gonna cut this out and also put a piece in there too. Well, we're back. That took me quite a bit of time, I'll tell you that. But anyways, now that we got that done, I ran out of welding gas while doing that, so ran into town, got ourselves a bigger tank, and now we're gonna go ahead. We gotta get all this right here cleaned out. You can see as rust's gotten pretty bad. We gotta chip all this old, you can see it's just falling right out of there. So we're gonna go ahead and get all the old seam sealer out of this hood. We're gonna tack this back together and try to fix this as much as we can. Then we'll repair whatever Bondo I warp and screw up from, yeah. Should have done this first, whatever. I'm just now seeing it. We're doing the best we can. But anyways, we're getting this thing primed today. This weekend, getting done. Happy 4th of July, by the way. Even though it's a few days after, but at least when you guys will be seeing this. So kind of like I said earlier, I should have done this before I got to the Bondo part, but you know, anyways, it is what it is. It did catch fire and it did peel off, but I just threw some more paint on there and I'm gonna take care of it after we get the primer done. But you know, lessons learned, it is what it is. Also, you can see my dad stop by to give me a hand there, and also some tips later on of painting in the night. Always fun to have him around, and I always learn some good stuff too. But anyways. So that mix you're pouring in the gun is about 1 quart of primer to a 1/2 quart of thinner. Okay, cool. All right. Well, a little more test spraying and then we're gonna go ahead and get on the truck. That'll be cool. After like 5 or 6 months. Yes, that was a sound effect, and we are near the end of the video, and that is not me talking in that video right now. Apparently, this is one of the only audio clips I have lost throughout this whole thing, so it's been like 6 months or 4, whatever time period since the last video I released, I don't know. But anyways, this is the only thing I've lost in all this footage towards the end of the video, but anyways, I just wanted to say I'm super thankful for my dad coming over and giving me some help, and I'm also just super happy to be at the end of this project and got this thing primed so I can move it out and get some other stuff done. I will have a video on my green truck soon. I got a bunch of stuff that we're going through, fixing on that, a dash we're going to custom build for it, but I think this is what I'm trying to say in this part of the video. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. Definitely like and subscribe if you did. It helps me out and the channel a lot, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.